Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is the Mvave Mini Universe. Before I start the video, please subscribe to the channel. Nearly 1,000 subscribers, and when we get there, one of our viewers will get a Mosky Zen drive. None of my videos are sponsored or have any affiliations with pedal companies. I do have Amazon affiliation, so if you buy a pedal from Amazon or anything, strings, whatever, you can follow a link from my description and I get a tiny amount of money. One day I will have enough to buy myself a Costa coffee. Imagine that. So this is the Mini Universe by Mvave. It is a really nice little pedal. It feels quite good quality. It's very much like a sealed little unit. It's very, very thin. Which is cool because you could have this on your board and then some other pedals next to it that are bigger, and you know, by doing that you haven't got to, you're not treading on all these different pedals at different height, you know, at the same height, so that's cool. It's got loads, I say loads, it's got 9 different parameters that you can use. I'm going to go through those today. For me, what I'm looking to find out really is is this a good pedal if you're a first-time pedal buyer. So a lot of students ask me, you know, what's the best way to go if I'm building a pedal board for the first time? Well, the great thing about pedal boards is you can sort of build on them. So you could buy some cheap units. If you sell them, you're not going to lose a lot of money on them really. And then you'll be able to fund, you know, better pedals and stuff like that. So I've got some pedals that are a bit more expensive that do a similar kind of job. This is one that I like. This is the Walrus Fathom, the Walrus FX Fathom. That's really cool. That one does a similar kind of thing to this, but this is obviously a lot less kind of expensive really. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start showing you how it works. You've basically got your 9 pedal models and you've got a mix control. Right, so the mix will be how much of the reverb is being used, and the other one is decay. So how long will the notes kind of last? Reverb is a nice effect to have. It's one of the main food groups. A lot of people kind of use reverb to keep their kind of sound. Life's a bit easier with reverb, I would say, because your notes dwell a bit longer and you can kind of fill a bit of space between things. A lot of the time I tend to actually not have reverb when I'm practicing because it will keep your playing a little bit tighter and your timing a bit tighter, but I appreciate why you'd use reverb. I use it live, and suddenly everything just feels a little bit easier. So we're going to use this pedal now. Let's just have a little listen to the first one here. The cool thing about this pedal is it has 3 parameters per setting. So each one of these might change and alter depending on the setting that you're on, so that it's more appropriate for the pedal. So the first one, room, I've got them on my screen behind me. You've got high pass, low pass. So they're going to filter out and EQ the sound. And then you've got drift. Terminology alert. When you don't have any reverb or delay, we tend to say, or any effects really on, we tend to say it's the dry signal. There we go. So that's the dry tone. I'm using the UAFX LION today on the clean setting, which is like a bass amp. Sounds great. That reverb goes on and on, doesn't it? Right, so let me turn these parameters down. Okay, it's still quite a lot. So I'm going to use the decay. I'm going to turn the decay down to... That's cool. That does sound like a room. Cool. I'll turn the level all the way up. There's so much delay now with the level up full that you don't hear the initial attack of the guitar. So you notice that's coming in later. So there's a delay before the sound. If I turn it down to just the first quarter, still quite dry. So the middle's kind of bit of a sweet spot there. So obviously the more decay, when I get to about there, that's quite realistic of a sound that you'll probably hear, a room that you'll probably be in. That to me is like an actual, you know, sound that you're going to hear. But when you start getting past that, it's like keeps going until you're right up here. Okay, so I'm going to use it like this. Let's have a look at these things then. So this one here, which was the one that said drift. Oh, I can hear it. So what's happening with the drift is that the sound's modulating. Yeah, I don't really like that. Those filters don't seem to affect the sound a lot to me. Try turning them all the way up. So you've got your high. That's very high, isn't it? So it's kind of like EQing the reverb as it's happening. I don't really need those, being honest. Let's have a listen to the next one. So hall reverb. So reverb, it's got normally when I'm talking about stuff like this, it's within the context of kind of analog gear and how it started. The hall reverbs, you know, they're trying to sound like a hall. That's a really lovely reverb. Let me just add some of this drifty. Yeah, it's called drift again. It's basically adding a modulation into it. So if I'm doing something nice with this. It's nice. It's actually really bringing out some of the harmonics as well. Let's have a look at plate. Plate's one of my favourite reverb sounds. Very 60s. They go on for days. I mean, if I turn the decay up, have a bit of like this reverberation kind of thing going on. So again, you've got your it's kind of like a synth, isn't it? Right, I'm going to go to the next one. So, springs. You want it to drip a little bit with the spring reverb. Alright, Shimmer. Right, who doesn't love a shimmer reverb? And again, this is probably where you're going to start to see things like amount and your pitch. So this knob now is responsible for the pitch. I'm just looking on the box. So the K-Line Tantrum comes with a age rating. You're not allowed to use it if you're less than 14 years old. Straight up. It says it on the back. So it's like not suitable for children under 14, which is the most craziest thing I've ever seen. Well, it's not the most craziest thing I've ever seen. I've seen some really crazy things in my life. But that is a bit crazy. I think this is a bit scary now. Listen to it. Sounds like it's haunted. Right. Let's have a look at the next one. This is a cloud. So this controls diffusion. So it's where my pitches are going basically, isn't it? I do like this pedal. I've got to say, I like this pedal. It gives me so many reverb. It's basically any reverb you need done right there. It's you know, its middle name is Reverb and its last name is all the reverb you ever need in your life. Bloom.
Kira goes, oh, can we just do that kissing bit again? Well, I know what she's up to.
So, Bloom has a length parameter, which is nice, isn't it? Now, if you combine that with a Vox amp, I've got this Vox amp down here called a Night Train that has a girth switch on it. It's very strange, very strange. Right, let's have a listen to this. All right, okay, so it's blue. The sound blooms out. That's quite high up. I really like that's cool. Okay. Next is the swell. So I'm imagining it's going to swell. Let me turn that down. That's the most counterintuitive setting ever. So you turn the knob down to get more, basically. Okay. Now it's lo-fi, which people love to use that word. Oh, it's lo-fi. It's the reverb equivalent to saying it's a brioche bun. Oh, it's a brioche bun. It's a gourmet burger. I don't think that makes a gourmet burger. And half the time, people advertise that a brioche bun, and it's never a brioche bun. So let's try this. That's definitely not a brioche bun. That sounds broken. It sounds like someone's left a snare on in a studio. I don't like that. That sounds like a telly that can't find its signal. Okay, so there we have it. So those are all the settings. Is it a good reverb pedal? Yes. Is it all the reverb you need in your life? Yes. Is it a bargain? Yes. Is there anything wrong with it? No. Actually, yeah. So you've got 3 parameter knobs along this line here. I'm not going to remember what every single one does. So where is that information kept? Underneath the pedal. So I've got to somehow keep the parameters somewhere. So if I just move out of the way, you can see on there's my computer screen. I've just I've got it on I've done a print screen so I can see what they are. But I think most people will probably just find like 1 or 2 sounds that they like and just stick with them. So like for me, my favourite sound on here is actually the hall reverb. I think that sounded good. Let's just have a listen to that. I'm going to turn that. I don't really like the modulations. Just because if I'm doing a session, I do a lot of session with stuff, and someone will tell me to tune my guitar. I'll start rocking up and playing that stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. If I use something a bit more sophisticated, is there a difference? On its own, you can't tell, you know, this is like a £20 pedal, you know, like 20, 30 pounds, not an expensive pedal. What makes pedals great for me, if you look where this Walrus audio pedal, right, has top mounted jacks, so on my pedal board it's so much easier to deal with. Now this will do all that stuff that I've just shown you, That's on its craziest setting. That's a hall. That sounds lush. And I can control the decay. And I can control the modulation. Wow. So if I want, I can just hold something. So I've stopped my guitar from playing, and providing my fingers on there, or my foot, it'll just keep it going. Okay. This also has a trail mode. So I can just have reverb. I can just play a little bit of something. Edge of 17. And it will trail just on that bit. So that's why I like that one. The other cool thing is you can blend between your programs. So my program, you know, it's binary here. It's either room or hall. I'll go from hall to plate. And then this is the one that's all kind of shimmery and I can keep that going. But something like that costs a lot more money, doesn't it? You know, you're paying 10 times the amount for the same kind of effect. So you know, when you can get this, that is pretty wonderful. It's pretty good. It's everything you kind of need. It's these things you probably want. It's probably the easiest way to rationalize it. You know, I think the reverb does sound a bit better on there. It sounds smoother for some reason. But the reverb on this sounds great. It sounds good enough. So, to that end, this has been an extremely long video because it's got a lot of features. But my final thoughts are, it gets a solid sort of like 4.5 out of 5. Top mounted inputs would have made it better for me. I like how slim it is. That's really cool. We need more slim pedals because then you can sort of have different heights on your board and reach pedals. That's really good. And the sounds are great. The functions are amazing. It's got all the functionality you'll ever need. It's a great price. It looks really cool. It's nicely put together. Yeah, go and get one. If you're starting your pedal board journey, get one of those and you'll be happy with it. And you'll be happy with it for quite a long time. I certainly recommend that over some of the other kind of basic kind of reverbs that I've heard. I used to use a Behringer digital reverb back in the day that was probably twice that price. And I did soon kind of replace it with Electro Harmonics Holy Grail, which is a great sort of reverb pedal. This is like way above the Behringer one that they did that digital delay. So much better. So much better. There you go. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time when we do our Afforder Board Challenge. Thank you.